Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope has been a beloved film since its release in 1977. The franchise has been cursed or blessed depending on who you ask in the fanbase with the prequel and sequel trilogies since A New Hope. But these trilogies only highlight the major issues Star Wars has. It cannot seem to move past the incredible success of the original trilogy, and Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, is the most recent case of this. The Rise of Skywalker lacks clear direction, subtlety, and verisimilitude. Rather than challenging or evolving the franchise, it nostalgia baited the audience into believing that this was not some kind of Return of the Jedi ripoff. This is where Aliens comes in. Disappointment can leave one searching, and that search brought me back to the Alien franchise, now owned by Disney, by the way, and Aliens absolutely floored me. Alien is a well-crafted film, and it deserves all the praise it receives. Ridley Scott introduced the world to a future that was engrossing from the very first frame. Scott showed that the mysteries of space can be deeply disturbing and terrifying. Following this success, the obvious choice of who would direct the sequel was Scott himself because of what he achieved with the first film. But that was not the case. James Cameron was to direct instead, and what he brought to the movie was on par with what Scott had achieved in the first film. Aliens was a step forward in every way imaginable because it was built on the foundation provided by Scott. Ellen Ripley, the sole survivor of Alien, was given more character depth. The parasitic creature that became known as the Xenomorph was given depth as a species, and the company, Weyland-Yutani, had the curtain unveiled on their motivations with Ash from Alien. There is no retconning of any kind here, only ideas built on ideas. This is why I have become so enamored with Aliens for the past month. It's a breath of fresh air I had no idea I needed. Ripley's character arc in Aliens opens up with her facing consequences from Alien, and those end up being the template for how Ellen Ripley will change as a character throughout the run of Aliens, and the first act highlights almost everything needed to drive her in the direction of change. Ripley experiences PTSD from the actions of Ash and the Xenomorph in Alien. Act 1 highlights her fear of the Xenomorph, but also her drive to help others, despite her also receiving another motivation from the company to return to LV-426. Act 2 kinda highlights her beginning hate of synthetic beings. Ripley's PTSD and her overall experience with the Xenomorph are the foundation for her character arc in Aliens. She is shaped by this experience, more than a survivor like she was at the end of Alien. Ripley, with her knowledge and experience, becomes an absolute apex predator with a plan, and it can be visualized by her first encounter with the aliens and her last encounter with the aliens, Queen. I really don't want to pick on The Rise of Skywalker that much, but it's refreshing to see that every character trait in a film is earned on screen rather than off screen. The rule, show, don't tell, is on full display here, and I think Star Wars in general could learn a lot from that, considering so much is told off screen in that series. The antagonizing nature to Weyland-Yutani and the Xenomorph in the film should not be undersold. Weyland-Yutani is the simpler of the two villains here, but still has as much depth as the aliens do. How the filmmakers handle the company's motivations involves making the audience doubt Bishop due to the actions of Ash, and making us believe that Burke shares the company's interests of profits, like the company, because the viewer shares Ripley's experience with the android, and this is what they've been led to believe even though, as we discover later on, this is not the case. This happens to be the same direction that is taken with the aliens. In Alien, the xenomorph is a hunter that lurks in the shadows. The easiest option for making the sequel would have been to just throw more aliens on the screen that do the exact same thing, lurk in the shadows, and pick characters off one by one. There was a bit of an alteration to this formula. While they do lurk in the shadows, they hunt in packs now, so the aliens are not afraid to assault the soldiers in Act 2. No longer do they simply kill either. These aliens now have a queen to serve. If you have never seen the director's cut of Alien, then this reveal early on in the film is new to the viewer. This parasite has a way to reproduce now, so the characters no longer fear just death when they come across the xenomorph. Let me be crystal clear, what Aliens does as a sequel isn't reinventing the wheel when it comes to sequels. This is just how a proper sequel should present itself. But all too often in modern blockbuster sequels, the filmmakers aren't interested in this form of writing for the universe. Usually, in big budget sequels, we are presented with an old idea from the series with a fresh coat of paint, or ideas are forced in with retconning rather than organic storytelling. This is why the final fight between Ripley and the Alien Queen is able to work as well as it does. Compared to the ending of Alien, the sequences are exactly the same. Ripley thinks she's escaped with her life, only to discover that there is one last fight for her: survival. The difference here is how Ripley handled the situation. In Alien, Ripley takes out the alien in an almost stealthy way. In Aliens, it's an all-out brawl in a mech suit because she's fighting to protect Newt. Practically, the scenes are different because they set up in the end of Alien does not lend itself to being an action scene. But that still does not change how the ending of Aliens shows how far Ripley has come as a character. It's very doubtful that Ripley in the end of Alien would have stepped foot in the robot frame to fight the Alien Queen head on, because that is not the character she was at that time, no matter how smart and capable she was. Aliens took it upon itself to reshape Ripley and to create a character that faced and overcame her problems, and the ending of Aliens being so parallel with Alien just shows how far she came over the course of 4 hours on film.